What's up guys, I'm Redken Global Artistic Ambassador Maggie Perry, and today I'm gonna be teaching you my favorite summer blonding technique. Let's get into it. Okay baby, what are you thinking you wanna do with your hair?
I wanna go lighter, but I definitely need a lot of the ends off.
Yeah, we need a good haircut, huh?
Yeah, but I just like the lived in look. As you can tell, I like to let my hair grow out a lot.
Yeah.
So, but I like the lighter ends, bright in the front.
Do you want it to be like very blonde in this area? Because I feel like that's how it was.
Yes.
And it didn't grow out like that great.
No, no, no.
So maybe we should make it a little more spaced out.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then cut here, because your ends are very dark too.
They are, yeah.
So like here?
Yeah.
And then try and brighten up the ends a little
Yeah.
bit. Okay, perfect. Let's get her summer blonde ready. I am so thankful that you were willing to do that.
Yeah,
because I was like, really
No, I needed it.
It's gotta go.
It's really gotta go.
So proud of you.
Thanks.
Let's get into sectioning. We are gonna focus on the brightness on the top, her money piece. I'm not gonna foil all the way in because I wanna leave some of this nice dimension here, but I do wanna brighten up her ends. I'm gonna comb her hair straight back into the corner of the recession here. And then I'm gonna take a 1/2 inch section. Same thing on this side, combing back, finding the point of recession. That's where it will end. Dragging back a 1/2 inch. And then I'm gonna come right on that corner of the last section for her face frame, and I'm gonna drag straight down to the ear. That's gonna be about 1 inch thick. Same thing on the other side. Placing my comb at the corner of the face frame and pulling down to the ear. Now I'm gonna come to the top of the head where the head rounds. Part straight down, standard side section. Same thing on the other side. Parting straight across the back of the head, right underneath the round of the head. And then this whole underneath will be its own section. So let's get into mixing and application. So in this underneath section, I'm gonna melt down with color all of this after when we're doing the toning, just to blend this a little bit. What I really wanna focus on the underneath is actually brightening these ends up because the top of her hair is lighter than the ends, and we wanna create some balance. So I'm gonna divide this into 2 sections in the back. I'm gonna take diagonal back sections. Her hair is super fine and on the longer side, and I feel like teasing it a lot is probably not what I wanna do in these big sections. So I'm gonna hold the ends. I'm gonna take my blow dryer. I'm gonna blow dry down that dimension, and then I'm gonna weave through. I am using Blonde IQ and 20 volume at a 1:2 ratio. The lightener is super creamy, really easy to control. 1:2 is what I like for my tip outs. So So I'm just gonna scrub on the mids and then pull through these ends. So this is how you would do a tease-free tip out. Preserving all that dimension in the base. Nice blend in the mids, really bright on those ends. Same thing, diagonal back section, a little more than 1 inch. Using my blow dryer to blow dry down all this dimension in the mids for a nice blend. So it's the same thing as teasing all of this up, but instead we're just using our blow dryer because her hair texture, I can tell, would get very tangly, and we don't want that. Holding her hair down at the bottom, weaving through. Blending into the mids and saturating down. I'm gonna keep doing that all the way up this whole section and on the other side. And then I'll bring you back for what we're gonna do at her crown. All right, I finished those 2 back tip out sections. Now we're gonna move to the top. Now we're gonna start adding lightness all the way up to the root. So the underneath is nice and melted and the ends are tipped out. And the top, we're gonna bring in some brightness. We are going to have to do a lot of correcting with these highlights, but that's okay, we can do it. Dividing the back into 2 sections. Taking 1/4 inch sections straight across, horizontal. And I'm gonna go in and weave right off the base. And I did a medium fine weave spaced out. It's gonna break up the color nicely. Same thing, Blonde IQ and 20 volume. I'm gonna take it all the way up, but I am gonna feather it just a touch at the base. And now I have to go through and do everybody's favorite thing. Let's pick out the dark pieces. And push the light pieces to the side so that we don't overprocess her hair. We give her a nice, smooth blonde. I like to work on a board, especially when I'm correcting highlights or I need to go through like I am picking pieces out. I feel like you're able to be a lot cleaner that way. Again, about a 1/4 inch thick section. Medium-sized weave. Feathering slightly at the top. This section's pretty dark, I can pull through. Now I'm gonna do that all the way through this section, and then I'll show you what I do at the very top after I finish both sides. Okay, almost done with the back. All I'm gonna do is I cut off the top triangle of both of the back sections. I'm gonna combine them together because I don't like doing tiny little foil sections. I don't feel like they process very good. So I'm just gonna go ahead and combine that into one and do straight across horizontal sectioning, weaving through, and just doing the exact same thing that I was doing in these back sections, just combining them together to finish off the top of the head. All right, we finished up the back. Now I wanna add some tip outs in this top section. So I'm gonna flip the foils and I'm just gonna take the drop out and divide it onto either side so that all this in-between hair is on the sides. Okay, I have all of the hair pulled to the side in between, over directed towards her face for a nice blend. I'm gonna take these pieces and I'm gonna do the same thing that I did here on the underneath. Those teaseless tip outs. Just using my blow dryer to blow dry out those mids. And then I'm gonna come in feather my lightener on and pull through those ends. Close that up. And then I'm gonna do 2 more, so 3 on each side, and then we'll be done with our lightener application in the back. All right guys, we finished up the back. Now let's move on to the front. We're gonna do her face frame first. I'm gonna come next to her ears. I'm using Blonde IQ in 20 volumes still. I'm using a thicker consistency. I'm using it at a 1 to 0.5. I want it to be thicker around the face so that it holds these smaller foils, these retouch foils a little bit better. So I'm gonna take a slice parallel to her face, and I'm going to back comb. I'm gonna apply and feather up, come through, being careful not to hit those overly blonde ends. And then again, another slice. Tease. And then 1 more slice, so 3 back-to-back slices. And then behind those 3 slices, I'm gonna do 2 weaves. A lot of condensed foils right here by the ear. This is what's gonna make her money piece pop nicely. Wanna add a lot of blonde in this area. And then again, 1 more. Now we're gonna move on to this top piece. She does have some short pieces here. We gotta try and be careful with that. But I'm gonna start the same way. A nice thin slice. Back comb. And for these, I'm gonna apply them as close to the scalp as I can. It's okay if you get a little lightener on the teasing, no worries. One more time, a nice thin slice. Back comb. Apply that nice and close. Now that I've done two, I'm gonna switch to weaves. Still a nice thin section. And then the same thing, one more thin section, fine weave. So I have two slices and two weaves. And now I'm just gonna repeat that same thing on the other side, and then I'll show you what we're gonna do for our last sections. All right, we are on to our final sections, the two side sections. We are gonna go diagonal back. I'm gonna leave a lot of dimension underneath here on this first one, about 2 inches thick. I wanna leave some dark behind this piece so that it can pop from that pocket of depth. I'm gonna go across. Thin section, just like I was doing in the back. Medium weave. Kind of feathering it at the base. Being mindful not to overlap on the previously lightened pieces. I'm gonna do a 1/2 inch section. As I work my way towards the top, I'll do thinner and thinner. I'm gonna cut off the top. And weave through. So doing these thicker sections with more dropout, it's gonna give us a lot of dimension and make that face frame pop nicely. Feathering at the base. I'm gonna work my way all the way up her head, sectioning like so, all the way back. And when I get to about here, I'm actually just gonna leave this triangle out so that can be a nice pocket of depth. So I'll just pre-section that. And we're gonna do that on both sides. So we're gonna just work our way all the way up to here, getting slightly closer together as we go. All right, guys, we completed the foils and now we're on our very last step. So here in the front, I do want to brighten these ends up just a little bit, but this is the blondest part of her hair. So we don't need to separate it. I'm not gonna put it into any foils. I'm gonna go in with Blonde IQ and 20 volume at a 1:2 ratio. And I'm just gonna paint these tips, saturate the ends a little hand-painted moment, just to brighten up these ends. Blending things out with my fingers, checking the underneath to make sure it's nice and blended. So we're gonna do this on both sides. We're gonna let her process for about 30 minutes, and then I'll bring you back for her toner. Her highlights are fully processed and it looks good raw, but let's tone it. Let's add some gradients and some depth back into the color. It'll make the front pop even more. I love how balanced her blonde is now. The ends are lighter, it has more dimension at the top, everything is organized correctly. So let's get into the toners. This is gonna be the perfect finishing touch. We are gonna use Shades EQ. For her root, I'm going to use 7N by itself. Just wanna neutralize and darken the highlights a touch. And I'm gonna blend that in to half crystal clear, half 10G. Her blonde lifted so nicely. I wanna maintain the warmth. It doesn't need much toning, but I just wanna seal everything in and add like a little kiss of warmth to the blonde and have something for the root shade to blend into. So this is a very gentle ends color. I'm gonna start by applying my ends color all over first. I like to do that, especially when I'm toning on dry hair, so that I can then blend in the root color to the ends color that I chose. Because I do that, I put the lighter color on first, and then I put the darker color on top. I generally formulate one level darker on the root, because usually you do about an 8 on a blonde like this, but because I am blending it into a lighter color, I'll opt for something a little bit darker. That's just the way that I like to do it. Oof, that looks so good. All right, we got her ends and mids color applied. Now I'm gonna apply the root, but before I do that, I'm gonna comb forward the bright pieces around her face, the face framing sections. I'm gonna do those last, and I'm not gonna pull the root color down quite as far as I am in these back sections. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with my 7N. I'm gonna pull it about 2 inches down all over this back section. And in the front, I'm just gonna do a tiny bit at the very end. So very simple, just all over her head, retouch about 2 inches. All right, we got her toner on. We're gonna let this process for 20 minutes and I'll bring you back for the final reveal.
We're dancing on moonlight cosmic. All I wanna do, your loving is so hypnotic. Ooh.
Wow, doesn't it look so good?
It looks insane.
I'm so happy for you.
I'm so happy. Literally the best it's looked since I started dyeing my hair.
Yes, I love to hear that. Yeah, this is gonna grow out so nicely.
We're dancing on moonlight cosmic. All I wanna do, your loving is so hypnotic. Ooh.
All right, guys, that completes our tutorial. This is perfect, if I do say so myself. You definitely have to try this. If you try this technique or any of my formulas, please tag me. I would love to see your work.
Can't get